So this will probably be my most insane game ever to be played in the AMX 1357 and probably in almost any vehicle in the game. This game was 1 in 1,000, guys, maybe 1 in 10,000. Absolutely phenomenal game on steps. And again, we're in the 1357. This is a 5, 6, 7 game, so we are top tier. And I'm just pausing it here quickly to show you behind my camera, I'm running low noise exhaust in the scouting slot here. So that's giving me 8% concealment. And then we do run it with the Bounty V-Stab and standard optics. That's the way I'm running this thing. Now, this might be somewhat controversial, but I do load all APCRs in this vehicle, all gold rounds. And the reason being is because you only get 7 clips, I believe it is. It's either 7 or 8. If you do the math real quick, you can figure this out. I'm pretty sure it's 7 because it's like 8 shells, right? So if you do the maths, I'm pretty sure it's 7 clips and you have 8 shells per clip. This is all you get, right? So what I was trying to do was I was loading 1 clip of APs initially, but I just didn't find it to be worth it because I would use like half the clip at the start of the battle, right? And then when you actually are going to use that again, you only have half of it. Right. So it's like, I don't even feel like it's worth it to load 1 clip of standards. If you're going to load the standards, you might as well load at least 2 clips. And then it gets to the point where if you're in a game carrying situation and you're against tier 9s, you're going to want the APCRs. So I just load all APCRs in this vehicle. We're going to get into this game, but I would suggest that you guys do the same. People can say what they want about this, but it's like, it's 2024, man. Everybody shoots gold in this game now. And again, like, this was a term that was used like even before I started playing World of Tanks, way, way, way back when you can only use gold, I'm pretty sure, to have the actual gold rounds or the higher pen rounds. But now you can use credits, and it's just like, this is what you're going to do on a tank like this, where you might end up using every single shell like you'll see in this game. So again, steps. What I like to do on steps is come to this location of the map. I find it to be very effective at countering the enemy light, who doesn't seem to be a great player, but still, and then you will get people like this who just YOLO out to the top. We bounced the T-34-85 him a couple times, but we're able to put 4 shells into him, 348 damage, and this is why I like this area, because especially at higher tiers, when you run CVS, Commander's Vision System, you will outspot people in this area. Even tank destroyers with decent concealment, if they're moving around and you just get like a sliver of their tank that isn't behind foliage, right? You're going to spot them, right? And then people in the back will have easy shots because they're uphill, right? So even the people that are sitting way back here will have shots. So that's what I'm doing here. Again, we've already fired how many shells here, and then once you fire to the point where you can't hit anything anymore, you go on reload, right? So I had 1 shell left, I go on reload. Imagine if that was my, like an AP clip, and now I'm switching over to APCRs, well, I only have 1 shell left. So like, what's the point of even having this shell now? You guys see what I'm saying? Because you're never going to use it until the very end. So you might as well just load all APCRs, or if you really want to save credits, just load all APs. I'm telling you guys, like, it's not worth it, in my opinion, to load like just even 1 clip of the other type of shell, because you have 8 shells, and then if you fire a few and you go on reload, you're not going to use that clip until the end of the game anyway, because it's not a full clip. So that's why I suggest you just do this. Like, just load all APCRs if you can get away with it. If not, then maybe just load like 1 and try and stick with the APs the whole game. So I hope that makes sense. This is where, if I knew, right, hindsight's always 20/20, if I knew that I was going to run out of ammunition, I would have tried to focus these shots a little better. You can see that I'm now doing that, but on that clip before, we weren't really focusing our shots that well, right? So we're able to hit the AT a bunch of times here, and we're at 1174 damage, 137 assist. We still have 31 shells, we're doing okay, but keep in mind you only have 90 damage per shot. So eventually I'm going to start going after the Churchill here. We're able to clean him up, and I'm going to reload again. You see how I continue to reload? So you always want the full clip. Now, it would be nice to hit these shots into the TOG, but I'm going to end up getting a full clip into the TOG anyway. Junu's up here as well, and we're just trying to bring this game back in terms of HP, right? So I'm now going to start unloading on the TOG as he's coming around. I'm making sure the Leo doesn't poke in front of me, and we're able to get an entire clip into this guy, because the TOG is basically an HP pancake, HP pinata, whatever you want to call it. I call it like everything, man. It's literally, it's Swiss cheese. It's whatever you want to call this thing, man. I mean, the tank is, it's easy damage for you, right? No matter what tank you're in, it's always easy damage on these things most of the time. Unless you're in like a tier 5 or something, you don't really have a lot of pen. So now we're at 16 shells, which actually worked out perfectly because we have 2 full clips. So I'm letting people know this. 2 clips left. Reloading, 2 clips left. Help. Like, help me. Like, I need you guys to start doing damage, man. Because I'm running out of ammo. So I'm going to get close enough to the Panther where I don't even have to aim in between each shot, right? So we're going to unload on the Panther. Again, this is... I'm not saying all these enemy players were good, guys. Like, at these mid-tiers, you're going to find people that will literally just take a bunch of shots, and then all of a sudden they're like, oh my gosh, I'm being hit like a million times, and they don't even, like, react, right? So it is what it is. Like, that guy wasn't even that bad of a player. He was probably like a 48% win rate player, like, maybe close to average. But this is what you'll find at the mid-tiers. Like, I know someone was commenting saying, play on the EU server. It looks like there's bots on the NA server. And I'm like, dude, if you think there's bots on the NA server, you should try the SA server. The SA server is like, holy crap, man. They actually do have bots on the server because no one plays on that server, for one. But two, you're going to get bots, people that play like bots. And when I say bots, I don't just mean bots. I mean people that play like bots. You will get it on the SA server if you can get into a game first, right? So at this point, I have 1 clip left. And I'm telling people this in the chat. Right? 2 clips left, help, 1 clip, reloading. Like, I'm trying to give this information to people so the Su-100 knows, right? So now I'm going to go after the Juno. Don't have to reload because I have 7 shells now, and this is my last clip. So we've cleaned up the Juno. We've won this side of the map. We're at 3276 damage, 387 assist, and I've used almost all of my ammunition. And the only part, again, of this game where I think that I could have saved a little more ammo was that first clip we started taking at, like, the church, the AT, right? We were kind of just shooting shells there, and what I should have done is taken a little bit more time on the intra clip, right? Because there's 1 second that separates every single shell that you take, every single shot that you take, rather, with the clip, which is considered intra clip. So on the intra clip, what I should have done is taken an extra second each shell to aim it, because every time you shoot with this tank, the bloom goes like this, right? But if you're close enough, like we were on the Panther, you could just hold down the left mouse button. You don't even have to click. So now we're going after the SP1C. You can see how focused I am at making sure this shot goes in, right? I want to make sure that shot goes in. It goes in. I have 6 shells left, and I'm going to end up putting them into the IS. I think we end up putting 4 into the IS. I'm trying to go after this guy quick enough so that my Juno can stay alive. Unfortunately, he pokes around and doesn't wait for me, and the IS ends up cleaning him up. So you can see he's rushing in here, and I'm like, oh my god, man, like, I'm really going to have to, like, hardcore carry this. So luckily, all 3 shells go into the IS. Sometimes these tanks can be trollish, but that's more like the IS-3, Object 252, like IS-7 especially, like those kinds of vehicles. Here's the only shot I probably shouldn't have rushed. I kind of rushed that, went a little low, and I'm watching this guy, I'm like, I gotta save these 2, man. And I'm telling this Su-100, like, please don't die, man. I get into the chat, and I tell him, dude, I have 2 shells left. Like, don't die. And he goes running out here, like, into the middle of the open, and I'm like, dude, I'm not going to be able to carry this game because I'm going to run out of ammunition. Su-100 is getting hit by the T-67 here. Luckily, the T-67 starts adjusting to go away from the Su-100, which gives me time to get hopefully 2 shells off, but we missed the second one there, and now I'm like, oh my gosh, man, I should have just saved that 1 shell. He's now going to go after the Su. I'm in ramming mode now, so I hit the T-67 for 115. Su goes down, and now, what do we have, guys? It's 14-14. I have 4 kills, 37, almost 3,800 damage, 387 assist, and what do we have? We have a half HP T-67. I've only lost 136 HP so far to the T-67, so I've actually conserved my HP extremely well this game, but now we're out of ammunition. So in this situation, it's like, what do you do? There's really only one option. You have to ram if you're going to win the game, or you have to try and, like, bait this guy to, like, jump off a cliff or something like that. Like, there's no way you're going to win this game unless you're able to ram and stay alive while ramming. You guys will see the ending. I don't think I'll spoil it in the thumbnail, but here we go. So now I'm in a situation where I have to try and ram this guy. So I hit him a little bit here, and he's going to take not as much damage as I'm going to take on the ram, right? His tank is a little heavier than mine. And it's unfortunate, like, that I'm not in, like, the Hawk 30 or some big tank, right, where I can actually ram. So now I have to run away from this guy. I'm trying not to get hit by him. Luckily, I actually bounced this shell, so I'm still at half my HP. I'm trying to run away now, and I'm saying ammunition is empty. Ammunition is empty, because I'm making sure anyone who's watching knows, like, I'm not stupid. I have no ammo. My ammo is done, and the C-100's LOL. And Wolverines laugh my ass off, and I'm like, my man, why didn't you just stay alive? And, like, we wouldn't have had this problem. But, again, average players at this tier, right, guys? So T-67... And the Su-100 actually played well, by the way, too. So, except for this last play. Like, he just kind of threw himself out there, and he got aggressive. Like, I don't mind aggression, but in this situation, I'm like, dude, I need your help. Like, stay alive. Like, just let me, like, bait people, right? But in this situation, we're against the T-67 that has almost as much mobility as me. So I'm trying to, like, run away from this guy. You can see he's trying to chase me here, and he must know that I'm out of ammo. I would hope that this guy is aware that I'm out of ammo. So luckily he stops here, and I'm like, great, now I can full speed ahead, ram this guy, and then we get him kind of, like, up on the front of the tank, and I'm praying because in this situation, right, I'm going to pause one more time. In this situation, I have 188 HP and he has 119. If we get into a situation where somehow I'm able to push his tank up above mine, we will take the same amount of ramming damage, I guess you want to call it. You know, you guys have ever, like, jumped on top of someone and the damage just keeps counting because you're touching each other, right? But even if you're the one on top, you still take damage. And it just keeps going. It keeps going, you know? And as far as I'm aware, it accrues exactly the same. Whether you're on top or on the bottom, it doesn't matter. But because I have more HP than him, I would kill him first. And then I just have to get off of him real quick before the game ends, right? And I die as well, and then it would be a win. Unfortunately, he somehow gets off of me there, but that was a weird one, right? Because I hit him full speed, and he was actually going on top of me. So I'm like, please, please let me be able to push this guy so he stays up, like, on top of me, and then we both take the same amount of damage. Ramming damage, I guess you want to call it, but it's not really ramming damage, and then I would win. Unfortunately, he gets out of that somehow. I don't know if he, like, backs up or whatever the heck happened there. It's just weird, you know, game mechanic stuff, right, guys? It's the way the game works. Like, I don't know if the collision on this game is super realistic. In fact, I would argue it's not, but that's what happened, right? And now he comes around the corner again, and what happens? Well, we have to give this guy our HP at this point. He hits me once. I'm coming in to ram him, right? So I'm coming in to ram this guy. He hits me once on the way in. I'm left with only 68 HP left. I give him that 68 HP, and in turn, I hit him for whatever the heck it was, 100 something, and we go eye for an eye. I like to call this kamikaze eye for an eye, even though the kamikaze is when you ram someone, kill them, and you stay alive. But technically, this was a kamikaze eye for an eye. It's what I like to call kamikaze eye for an eye. And unfortunately, we got a draw, which doesn't count as a win. It sucks. It basically counts as a loss because it doesn't increase your win rate, right? But this is all we could do. In this situation, this was all we can do with this game. The only thing I could do is ram. I was out of ammunition. I needed someone else to stay alive in order to win this game. And I could do some baiting. I can do some spotting. I could do whatever. But the Su-100 kind of threw away his HP. And it's not just his fault. He was just the last guy alive, right? And I think he did okay. He was pretty aggressive. He ended up getting, I think, a couple kills and all. We'll take a look at the end plates. 4 kills he actually got. But, I mean, the rest of the team is always going to be a fault. Somebody somewhere threw away HP when they didn't have to throw away HP, and it is what it is, man. Like, everyone makes mistakes. I make them every single game, but all we needed was just one less mistake on our team, and we would have won this game. I'm almost positive, right? I just needed one other player, even if he got one more shot to the T-67, maybe even us, if we focused our shots into the T-67, if we held these 3 shells, then maybe we would have been able to ram him and kill him instead. And like on the second ram that we hit him, where he kind of went on top of me, we might have been able to kill him there. And we didn't. So it is what it is, guys. This was one of the craziest, most exciting games I played, and I was in tears. When I rammed this guy and we killed each other, I was in tears. And I'm looking right here. I'm like, this is a draw, right? Like, this has to be a draw. We went eye for an eye. Like, he didn't kill me half a second before I killed him, right? And I'm looking at it, I'm like, it's got to be a draw. We're both dead. So, and it was at the exact same time. So it ended up being a draw. 5 kills, guys, 3926 damage, 387 assists. We did do actually 4K. We got one blind shot here, so we did over 4,000 damage. And it's like, I don't know what else this team wants from me, man. I gave it my best shot. There was nothing else I could have done here except run away. And if this guy was like a heavy, maybe we could have tried to like lure him out and then cap or something weird. But again, the T67 has just as much, almost just as much mobility as me. So it is what it is. Anyway, guys, I wanted to talk about this tank as well with you. So when we get into the end plates, I'll just share with you what I think of this vehicle. It's amazing. I love this tank. I have been wanting this tank for the longest time, and in a session you guys will also hear me talk about it, but someone had told me that it was on sale, and I like went on my phone and bought it immediately because I absolutely love this thing. I used to love watching Steel Guts play it on his stream, and I wanted it so bad. We finally got it, and it's a blast, man. It really is a blast. I will say the mobility is a little bit lacking, and honestly, from a distance, the gun is really trollish because of the bloom in the interclip, right? Between shells, like you really got to aim your shots, man, and focus. But when you're close enough, you can just hold the left mouse button. And it's like, it's basically like playing the French version of the Tier 5 Leopard, or Lux, right? Like that's what it's like. It's a freaking, like basically a machine gun almost. And the good thing about having 8 shells, right, compared to just having one shell that does like 700 and whatever damage, is that with 8 shells, you have a much higher chance of lighting the person on fire or like racking them, right? Because you do a lot more damage. Like if you're, even if only like 2 or maybe 3 of the shells hit the ammo rack, you can destroy the ammo rack, right? But with one shell, you have much less of a chance of just like hitting one module, right? But if you hit one module multiple times and then you hit like the fuel tank as well, you know, you could wreak havoc on people with tanks like this, and with the Leopard as well, because if you put 15 shells into somebody, like the chances that you're hitting modules is very likely, right? And that you're damaging modules. So that's where this tank pays off. It's a draw, guys. I'm so mad I wanted to get this win. High Caliber Mastery. We got 5 other awards here. 4,045 damage, 5 kills, 4 module damage, 438 assists. We got 3 spots in this game as well. And I gave it my best shot. We tried, guys, but we just needed a couple more people down here to do a little bit better. Again, the Su-100 played a great game. 4 kills, 1k damage. I can't say anything bad. Like, I really can't. If our Mitsu got one more shot off, maybe. Like, you know what I mean? Like, hindsight's always 20/20, guys, and people will come into the comment section and say whatever, but the reality of the situation is when you're playing the game, you can't Monday morning quarterback, is what I'm saying, when you're actually playing the game. It's very easy to look at a game after the fact and go, oh, well, you could have just done this, Whirls, like, or this guy on your team, he could have just done that, or, you know, it's like when you're playing the game, man, it's very different, right? So again, I thought this would be a fantastic video to show you guys one of the... This might not be the best game I will ever play with the 1357, but it was definitely the most engaging and the most fun. And that is what I enjoy. Like, these are the games that I play World of Tanks for, right? And I hope that you guys enjoyed watching it as well. I will show you the detailed report, and then I will let you guys go. That's it. We lost 75k. We did bank 10k into the reserve, the stock reserve. But again, with this tank, you're going to load a lot of APCRs or load all APs, like I told you guys. But it's just, with these clips, man, it's really weird, especially when you have 8 shells. Maybe for like the AMX 1375, it's not as bad because you only have 4 shells, right? But with this tank, like, I feel like it's better to just load one or the other, because you're going to get in a situation where you have like 2 clips of APs, right? You shoot a couple, and then you shoot a couple again, and it ends up like you have like 5 or 6 shells left, and you're like, well, I don't want that clip. Now I have to go to the APCRs because it's not a full clip. So that's that, guys. That's why I load full gold. Again, people can say what they want about it. Here's the crew, by the way. I did have 60% Brothers in Arms, Situational Awareness, Snapshot, Smooth Ride, Full Concealment, and the concealment is good on this vehicle. I'm not showing it right now. But yeah, overall, again, the only couple of things bad I can say about this thing is the gun is a little trollish, but like, if they made it more accurate, this tank would be ridiculously OP if it's not already OP. The other thing, again, is the mobility. The mobility is not great. And it's also kind of fragile. I've noticed that this thing gets lit on fire fairly easy, but it's nothing like the LT-432 or something like that. It's not a matchbox, but it will get lit on fire more than most tanks, I would argue, because I've been lit on fire in the 59 battles I played, probably like 5 or 6 times I've been lit on fire already. Actually, I would argue maybe even more than that. So just be careful with that. The thing's fragile. Try not to get hit. That's it, guys. I hope you enjoyed this crazy game. Catch you for the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.